But then I have to say this is a funny story, because if it wasn't, if I didn't say it was funny, I would definitely cry. One year, I was trying out for baseball. It was my turn to catch the fly ball in practice, right? And sure enough, what happens? I have a seizure. And I swear to this, I remember there was a Paulie Ryan hospital sign in the outfield. And what I remember, I still remember this, I was thinking, I was pointing to the sign saying, Mom, there's where we need to go. But I was, of course, speaking complete gibberish. But I had to give up my true love of baseball, because I went from starting shortstop to outfielder to bench player because of the medicines. And then middle school got even worse. Every day, have seizures. It was the worst time of my life. My nickname was Seizure Boy. One kid even said, why don't you go home and have a seizure and kill yourself? And at that point I had no friends, so I said, I was thinking, maybe I will. But then, some kids in 7th grade offered me to sit with them at lunch. They saved my life, but not only them, this camp. My famous quote after camp was, I told my mom my first summer I went, I said, it was awesome, I was among my own kind. I felt like I wanted to have a seizure, I could, and no one would matter, no one would care. It really has saved my life. Because, like I said, it's like being accepted by the older kids. You guys are the world to them. They're not accepted by the kids their age, but when you're accepted by the cooler kids, I'm sure all you know, means the world to you. Because they were always cooler than your friends. Like I said, when they say they're heroes, you really are. I hope y'all know that. And here's another funny story. I never wanted to have the brain surgery, which I had, because I was afraid that if I had the surgery, I wouldn't have epilepsy anymore and I wouldn't be able to come to camp anymore. Which, of course, I find that out that that's completely false. Because once you've had 2 or more unprovoked seizures, you have epilepsy. But, yeah. And I jokingly say I'm 21 going on 16 because I can't drive yet and I never have. But in all reality, I really am like 16. I never really wanted to say that the epilepsy shut me off. I never wanted to say that it had control over me, but it really did. I shut myself completely off because I was afraid maybe that one time I'll have that seizure. Even when I had years of seizure freedom, I was afraid, what if? You know, what if it, you know? Like I said, in high school I never went out. The only time I ever went out was with my older brother when I went to see his friends, because they accepted me. They knew, you know, whatever. It's not even to say that I didn't have friends. I did. Like I said, looking back, it's stupid now because I know they were my friends, they wouldn't have a problem with it. But I had built that up that if, maybe they wouldn't be. Like I said, subconsciously I really did let my epilepsy rule me. I never wanted to admit it, but I really did. And like on April 27th, I had the surgery. I haven't had a seizure since, knock on wood. I had periods where I thought I was seizure free, but later to find out they said the area they removed was seizing every 2 to 3 seconds, which under general anesthesia slows down the seizure rate. The neurosurgeon suspects that it was seizing non-stop the whole time. So that would explain a lot of things. My head is finally clear, which that's the best thing in the world. I told my epileptologist that, and he said, that's great. So that'll help other people choose the surgery. Just knowing that fog in your head is completely gone. And this is something my mom had to comment. She said, after the surgery, she said, you've gone out more in the last 10 days than you have the last 10 years. Like I said, I guess it was because I'm afraid my friends wouldn't understand that I can't drink. If I told them, hey, I can't drink, I might have a seizure, I have medicine, then they, you know, they wouldn't understand and they just, whatever, blow me off. But I want y'all to have this approach this summer. Go in all the way 100%. Take pictures, write notes, so you remember this day. Because with me, I didn't as a kid, and I barely remember all I remember about camp when I was little was that it was the best time of my life. I remember select few counselors, mainly Near. If any of y'all had the chance to meet Near, he's the coolest guy. I remember thinking when I was a kid, I was like, I always wanted to be in his cabin, but I never was until my last year of Spike and Wave and then in Kaleidoscope. And like I said, and the campers too that I see, that I went through camp with the whole time. Zach, Trey, who else? Can't think of names right now. I know there are a few out there. Stephanie. Spike and Wave saved. Oh, and of course, I'm sorry. I had a buddy of mine, Seth. I only knew him 3 years. He was in my cabin. Recently, he died of SUDEP. I don't know if y'all know what that is. It's sudden unexplained death in epilepsy. They don't know why it happens. They don't know how. The autopsy is inconclusive. The epileptic just goes to bed at night, seemingly healthy, and just doesn't wake up. Like I said, it's only in my cabin 3 years. He's left a profound effect on me. Spike and Wave saves lives. Like, I recently said at Camp Spike and Wave, where memories and friendships are made that last a lifetime. They really do. I'll never forget any of y'all. As long as I write y'all down, of course, because my memory is pretty bad now after the surgery. And now, really, the one bad thing about coming back to camp is looking at the kids that are still having the seizures. So, you know, why do I get this chance? And I figure I do. I've dodged my 5th bullet now, somehow, I don't know, but I figure I need to use this opportunity to help and spread the word. I like to have I ask one thing from you, you know, be open because it changes your life. Like I said, how many people here volunteered 1 year from community hours? And now, Jonathan, what do you do now?
Here every year.
And, yeah. And I ask that you please help break the stigma of epilepsy. Because people generally think, you know, it's not a big deal, medicines fix it, which they can for some people, but they live half because the medicines themselves have horrible side effects. They really do. I was on Depakote for a while, it made me a zombie, and then later gave me pancreatitis. At the age of 14, they couldn't believe it, but I ask that you help inform your peers, the people that you hear talk about epilepsy. Correct them, you know, inform them about it, because we need to spread the word and fast, because too many people will lose their fingers if you do not spread the word. In case you don't know, that is a joke, because people still think, you know, that you're supposed to put something in the mouth of someone having a seizure, and I tell them you do it. See if you don't have your fingers bitten off. I said again, please help spread the word and the facts about epilepsy. If anyone wants any information, you let me know. I have a bunch of papers done, which, again, I jokingly say that was the best part about that. I always had an easy topic for English classes to write my papers on. Somehow I intercoiled it to my epilepsy. Okay. And I also was thinking to myself, I was writing it down right over there on the bench. I said, I think that the strongest advocates for epilepsy are the people that don't have it. That just randomly come in for volunteer hours and then stay. Because they had no relationship to it at all before. Like, I feel it's my duty to help because I'm part of this. Well, not part of the 70% that's controlled by medicines, but my seizures weren't bad. They were small. Y'all really didn't even notice them, I'm sure, but so I feel I have to speak up for the kids that are still having, you know, the generalized tonic-clonics. And because, like I said, y'all touch so many lives when y'all come here. Thank you.